The secret that skeptics don't want you to know. Have you ever heard of Wolf Messing? He was not just a man, he was a phenomenon, a living enigma, someone capable of predicting the future, influencing decisions and unraveling mysteries that even science today cannot explain. Messing knew something that great spiritual masters have kept secret for decades, and believe me, skeptics don't want you to know about it. But why? Because revealing this could transform the way you see life and even the beyond. What is behind this story? Something so powerful that it challenges the very foundations of what we've been taught about the spiritual world and what happens after death. I will share this secret with you, but only at the end of this video. So hold on to that curiosity and stay with me. What I'm about to tell you is not just fascinating, it's something that could change your life forever. And here's a challenge. Where are you watching this video from? Leave your city or country in the comments. I want to know how far this message will go. Oh, and if you could ask for a video on any topic, what would it be? Write in the comments, and who knows, your request might become the next topic here on the channel. Now get ready. Let's dive into the story of Wolf Messing, a man who faced the skepticism of the world and challenged the limits of reality. Why did he warn so much about the dangers of contacting the dead, and what are they hiding from us? Don't go anywhere, because at the end I have an amazing gift for you. A gift that only those who watch until the end will understand. Let's go on this journey together, because what's coming next could change everything. The nature of contacting the dead. What does it mean? Contacting the dead is an ancient practice that sparks curiosity and controversy. It's the attempt to communicate with people who have already passed away, seeking answers, guidance, or even just a sign that they continue to exist in another form. These contacts usually occur through medium sessions, in which mediums act as intermediaries between the spiritual world and the physical world. Additionally, vivid dreams, visions, or even seemingly inexplicable signs in daily life are also interpreted by many as forms of interaction with those who have already departed. Some spiritual traditions claim that these practices allow access to higher dimensions, while others warn that opening these doors can attract unwanted, confusing, or even dangerous presences. The human fascination with the beyond. But why do so many people seek this type of contact? The answer is deeply rooted in our emotions. The longing for loved ones is one of the greatest motivators. When we lose someone important, we seek comfort in the idea that we can, in some way, remain connected. Furthermore, there is an almost universal need to understand the mystery of death. What happens after we leave? Is there life after life? The answers can bring peace to those who find them, or even more questions for those who remain without answers. Another common reason is curiosity. The unknown exerts a magnetic attraction on the human mind. For some people, exploring contact with the dead is an attempt to better understand the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds. However, this fascination also comes with risks. There are stories of people who, in trying to make contact, ended up facing fears, disturbances, or inexplicable events. Wolf Messing, for example, warned that not everything that presents itself as a friendly spirit is truly trustworthy. This deep and often dangerous interest is what makes the subject so intriguing and necessary to be approached with care and responsibility. What really happens when we try to talk to the dead? This is something that only those who dare to explore this ground can discover, or perhaps avoid. Wolf Messing's warnings. Wolf Messing, known for his psychic abilities and impressive visions, was not just an observer of the spiritual world. He was also a severe critic of certain practices involving contact with the dead. His warnings were clear and direct. Playing with the unknown can cost you dearly. And for Messing, contacting spirits was not something trivial or harmless, but rather a realm filled with dangers that often escape human control. Main warnings. Messing warned about 3 major risks associated with contacting the dead. Attraction of negative energies. He believed that by attempting to interact with the world of the dead, we open a door that could allow the entry of malevolent or disturbing entities. Many of these presences are not the spirits we seek, but rather opportunistic energies that feed on our emotions, such as fear, sadness, or despair. Loss of emotional and spiritual balance. Messing said that attempting to maintain a connection with the spiritual world could lead to emotional wear and tear. This happens because often the answers we seek don't come, or they come ambiguously, generating anxiety, obsession, or even depression. Moreover, interacting with unknown energies can cause a disconnection from reality and negatively affect mental health. Risks to physical life. In some cases, Messing mentioned that people could suffer accidents or even health problems after attempting contact with the dead, especially through spiritual sessions conducted without proper preparation or responsibility. He believed that some energies could be so intense that they affect even the physical body. Specific reports and examples. Wolf Messing reported witnessing scary stories related to contacting the dead. One of his most well-known examples was the case of a young woman who, after attending medium sessions seeking comfort after the death of her father, began to have disturbing dreams and feel a constant presence in her house. The young woman reported hearing voices and seeing shadows, but the spirit she believed to be her father never manifested clearly. According to Messing, she had attracted something pretending to be her father, but in reality it was a destructive energy. Another example narrated by Messing involved a group of scientists who, curious about the supernatural, conducted experiments to try to prove the existence of spirits. After several sessions, one of the members began to report inexplicable pain, while another faced a series of bad events, from accidents to panic attacks. Messing warned that the group had opened a door to something they couldn't control. These reports not only reinforce Messing's warnings, but also show that contacting the world of the dead is not something to be done out of mere curiosity or without deep knowledge of the consequences. For him, the main message was clear. Not everything that answers comes from the place you imagine. His wisdom continues to serve as a reminder that the spiritual world, though fascinating, should be explored with extreme care and respect. Possible consequences of contacting the dead. The desire to communicate with the dead is deeply human, but this search can bring unexpected and even dangerous consequences. From emotional impacts to spiritual interference, contacting the world of spirits is a complex terrain that requires care and respect. Emotional and psychological impacts. Experiences involving contact with the dead can be emotionally devastating for many people. Some common consequences include fears and traumas. Contacting the dead can lead to frightening experiences, such as disturbing visions, voices, or sensations of presence. These phenomena can trigger phobias, insomnia, and even panic attacks. Illusions and obsessions. In search of comfort or answers, some people develop an obsession with this type of interaction. This can lead to a detachment from reality, damaging relationships and daily life. Guilt and anguish. When the answers don't come, or when they come in a confusing way, the individual may feel guilty or anguished, believing they are doing something wrong or are unworthy of receiving a clear message. Spiritual interference. For many scholars of spiritualism, opening communication channels with the dead is like leaving a door open in an unknown house. It's not known who or what might enter. Malevolent spirits. There are reports of entities that present themselves as loved ones, but actually have negative intentions. These entities can influence the living in harmful ways, feeding fear, anger, or sadness. Negative energy. By contacting spirits, people may inadvertently attract dense energies that impact their physical and emotional health. This influence may manifest as a constant feeling of fatigue, lack of motivation, or even physical illnesses. Opening portals. Some experts warn that practices like medium sessions and Ouija boards can open spiritual portals that are difficult to close. allowing the presence of forces that disturb the environment and the harmony of the person involved. Real stories. There are numerous reports of people who faced negative consequences after trying to communicate with the dead. Here are a few examples. Anna's case. After losing her husband in a tragic accident, Anna sought the help of a medium to try to communicate with him. Although she initially received comforting messages, she began to feel a constant presence in her house. Objects moved, and the feeling of being watched kept her awake. Over time, it was discovered that the energy present was not her husband's, but something much darker. Group of friends and the Ouija board. A group of young people decided to use an Ouija board as a game. At first, the messages seemed harmless, but over time, they began to hear inexplicable noises and feel chills in their homes. One of them reported having recurring nightmares with a dark figure, and the group never used the board again. Carlos's disturbing dream. Carlos, after his father's death, repeatedly dreamt of him asking for help. In an attempt to interpret the dreams, Carlos resorted to a spiritual ritual, but instead of finding peace, he began to feel a dense energy around him. He described it as a constant weight on his shoulders and had to seek help from spiritual experts to get rid of the sensation. These examples show that although contact with the dead is seen by some as a way to find answers or comfort, it can also bring challenges and consequences that we are not always prepared to face. Conclusion: the spiritual world is fascinating, but it should not be approached lightly. Contact with the dead can be a transformative experience, but the risks, emotional, psychological, and spiritual, are real. It is essential to seek proper guidance and understand that not everything that seems harmless really is. Curiosity can be a path to learning, but it can also open doors to the unknown. The debate between the spiritual and the scientific contact with the dead is a topic that has always been at the center of debates between spiritualists and scientists. While spiritual traditions offer explanations based on the existence of a dimension beyond physical life, science tends to view such phenomena with skepticism, seeking explanations based on psychology, neurology, and even illusion. Spiritual perspective. Many spiritual traditions have well-defined views on contact with the dead. For some, this interaction is possible, but it should not be done indiscriminately, as it can violate natural and spiritual laws. Spiritualism. Spiritualism, for example, teaches that contact with spirits should be done responsibly and with elevated purposes, such as seeking moral guidance or spiritual help. However, mediums and experts warn that lower spirits may pretend to be guides or loved ones, causing confusion or emotional harm. Christianity. In many branches of Christianity, contact with the dead is discouraged and even condemned, seen as something that can attract negative forces or violate divine order. The Bible contains passages warning against consulting mediums and necromancers, suggesting that such practices can interfere with spiritual balance. Hinduism and Buddhism. These traditions believe in reincarnation and the cycle of samsara, in which souls migrate to new lives. Contacting the dead may be seen as an attempt to disrupt this natural process, hindering the soul's advancement to its next stage. For spiritualists, contact with the dead should be done with great care and reverence, acknowledging that the spiritual world has rules we do not always understand. Scientific approach. On the scientific side, skepticism prevails. Science in general views contact with the dead as something unproven and proposes explanations based on psychological, neurological, and social factors. Hallucinations and neurological processes. Many phenomena attributed to contact with spirits, such as hearing voices or feeling presences, can be explained by auditory or tactile hallucinations, often associated with intense grief, sleep deprivation, or chemical changes in the brain. Grief psychology. Science points out that people in deep mourning often interpret everyday signs, such as the movement of a curtain or a sensation of warmth, as manifestations of loved ones, as part of the process of dealing with loss. Suggestion and predisposition. Mediumistic sessions or experiences with Ouija boards, for example, can be influenced by suggestions from the group itself. Studies show that the so-called ideomotor effect can make people move objects unconsciously, creating the illusion that external forces are acting. While science acknowledges the emotional and psychological effects of these experiences, it generally refutes the idea that they are caused by spirits or supernatural energies. Conflict and convergence. The confrontation between these perspectives often seems irreconcilable, but there are points of convergence. Scientists and spiritualists agree, for example, that the desire to contact the dead reflects a deep human need to find meaning in life and death. Investigative science. Some scientists, such as those studying near-death phenomena or human consciousness, keep an open mind about the possibility that aspects of existence may transcend biology. Modern spirituality. On the other hand, some spiritual traditions incorporate scientific elements into their practices, seeking to validate experiences through studies or experiments. The debate continues, with both sides offering valuable and, at the same time, challenging views. While science seeks tangible explanations, spirituality explores the mysteries of the unknown. In the end, each person chooses the path that best resonates with their beliefs and experiences. And you? What do you think of this dispute? Comment your opinion in the comments. Science, spirituality, or both. How to protect yourself from negative influences. When it comes to contact with the spiritual world, protection is a crucial issue. Interactions with the invisible can carry both positive and negative energy, and it is essential to take measures to avoid influences that could disturb your emotional, psychological, and spiritual balance. Spiritual advice. Prayer is a universal and powerful practice that helps strengthen your spiritual energy and create a barrier against negative influences. Regardless of your religion or belief, praying with intention and sincerity can bring inner peace and protect your mind from disturbing thoughts. Before any spiritual practice, pray for protection and clarity. Include in your prayers words that reinforce your connection to positive and divine forces. Meditation. Regular meditation helps strengthen your mind and spirit, making you less vulnerable to external influences. Guided protection meditations. Choose practices that focus on creating energy shields or strengthening your aura. Connection with your inner light. Visualize yourself surrounded by a bright and protective light that blocks any negative energy. Guidance from spiritual leaders. Seeking help from experienced spiritual guides can be essential for dealing with more complex issues. Religious leaders, trusted mediums, or spiritual therapists can offer personalized advice and guide you in safe practices. Consult someone trustworthy before attempting unknown spiritual practices. Beware of occult practices. Avoid dangerous improvisations. Practices such as using Ouija boards, invocations, and mediumistic sessions without preparation can be harmful. These methods can open portals to energies or entities that you do not know how to control. Inexperienced people may confuse signs or messages and end up putting themselves in dangerous situations. Knowledge is power. Before exploring spiritual practices, seek in-depth knowledge about what you are doing. Read books by trusted authors, attend workshops, and talk to experts. Avoid mixing methods from different traditions without understanding their origins and purposes. Do not play with the unknown activities done out of curiosity or as games, such as rituals or invitations for spiritual contact, can have unexpected consequences. Remember that the spiritual world is vast and unknown, and not everything that seems harmless really is. Approach this field with seriousness and respect. Additional practical tips. Energy purification. Use practices like herbal baths, incense, or crystals to clear negative energies from your body and environment. Environmental protection. Keep your home protected with symbols of faith, such as crucifixes, candles, or other sacred items that resonate with your beliefs. Avoid opening up emotionally in moments of weakness. Spirits and negative energies tend to take advantage of vulnerable moments. Conclusion: contact with the spiritual world can be enriching, but it also requires care and responsibility. Protecting yourself from negative influences is not only a matter of faith, but of staying aware and prepared to deal with the unknown. And you? Have you adopted any of these practices? Share your experiences in the comments. Reflections on life and death. Why seek contact with the dead? The desire to connect with those who have passed is deeply human. Whether for longing, for answers to unanswered questions, or for curiosity about the beyond, many people seek this contact as a way to deal with the mystery of death. But, as we direct energy to try to hear the voices of the past, are we neglecting the precious opportunities of the present? The search for the unknown. We try to understand death, but forget that the life we have now is the greatest gift. Connections lost in the present. How many times have we failed to say important words to those who are still with us? And when those people leave, we carry regrets. Perhaps the true mystery is not in the beyond, but here, in the way we live, how we love, how we make the most of every moment. Live fully. Death is part of the journey, but life is where connections happen. The now is the only moment we are guaranteed. So why not live it intensely? Cultivate present relationships. Hug, forgive, say "I love you" more often. Don't wait to appreciate someone only when they're no longer here. Seek purpose and joy. Dedicate yourself to what really matters: your passions, your dreams, and the people you love. Leave a positive legacy. May your life be remembered not by lamentations, but by smiles and teachings. Now it's your turn to reflect. What can you do today to value life more? In the comments, share one action you will take to live more intensely. Let's build together a chain of inspiration and change. And remember, if this video touched you in any way, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your action can be the push for more people to awaken to the value of the present. Life is now. Live it fully.